to the Mimi's Bowl kitchen. Today we are making a Mimi's Bowl classic, which is red lentils with vegetables. It's a great basic recipe, like a lot of the recipes that we're filming at the moment. It's something that I use in a variety of different ways, and what's great about it is you could cook this during a lunchtime sleep or once the kids have gone to bed, and it will make a lot of different meals for you. I think sometimes people think lentils are difficult to cook or intimidating, and actually they're really easy. And once you've got a few lentil recipes under your belt, you will have confidence with them. So today we're using red lentils, which are one of the easiest lentils to cook. They make delicious dals, you can add them into soups. They're really nutritious, and again, if you're trying to cut back on meat consumption during the week, putting lentils into your menu plans is a great way of keeping protein in your diet and getting all the goodness without having to eat such a meat or fish based diet. So we would have a dish like this a couple of times a week, and it freezes brilliantly, so it kind of ticks all my boxes for what I want to cook in my kitchen. This recipe just has a lovely veggie base. You could add in different vegetables, so at this time of year you might want to add pumpkin or squash. They would be delicious in this. But I'm showing you today the master recipe, and then you can adapt it as you go. And again, with bigger kids, you could add in extra spices or herbs. This is just the basics. So we'll get started with the vegetables. Everything's going into a pot, and then it will just bubble away. And I'll talk you through some of the ways that I use the recipe once we've made it. So we've added all the vegetables into the pot, and I'm just using a classic combination, some onions, a little bit of carrot for sweetness, and some celery, which will build up body in the lentils. What I would say with vegetables is you might notice the quantities I'm using today are different from the ones on the website. I sort of judge those based on the size of the vegetables that I'm using. So for example, today the carrots were really small, so I've actually added some extra ones. But this is a loose recipe, and if you have an extra carrot or an extra onion, throw it in. I was using a combination of purple and white onions. Again, use what you have. This is a recipe that's great for making sure you've emptied out the fridge, so don't be too precious about what you're putting in. So today is just an example of what I've got in the kitchen at home. So now we're going to start adding in some of the flavours, like garlic. We might add some dried herbs today. I like to finish it with some fresh parsley too. Again, these may not be on the recipe website, they're just my twist on what I've got in the kitchen today, which is sort of how I cook. So our veggies have been cooking down, and the more love and care you put into the base for the stew, the better it will taste. So that's the base. Next in, we're adding the garlic, dried oregano and some bay leaves, and that's just going to add flavour. Just give the garlic 1 to 2 minutes of cooking. It burns really easily, so you don't want it to catch. Keep moving it around. Smelling amazing. Now it's time to add in the red lentils. We've rinsed and drained them really well. Always rinse and drain the lentils. And then we're adding in, today I'm using vegetable stock, but you can use chicken stock, that would be absolutely fine. So we've got the lentils in there, we've got the stock in there, all the delicious vegetables, garlic, herbs and bay leaves. Now, if you're making this dish for children under 1 year, I would probably just add a tablespoon of tomato puree. Tomatoes can be quite acidic for small babies, so I would just use a no salt homemade stock and maybe a tablespoon of tomato puree. Today we're adding in a little bit more tomato than that because my children love it, but when they were little I would just add in a tiny amount, and then as they got bigger I would add in a tiny bit more. So look on the weaning section of the website and you will find the baby version of this dish, and it's delicious either way, and it's a great dish for the whole family to eat. Babies and bigger kids and grown-ups, which is what makes it easy. So our lentils have been cooking for about 25 minutes. I've done a really big batch portion so that I can freeze some, we can eat some this week, and I can make lots of different meals from this. So let me show you the lentils that are now cooked. So these are the final lentils. They're lovely, they have absorbed all that delicious stock and all the flavour, and I'll just talk you through how I would now use them. So this makes a fantastic veggie-based sort of pasta sauce, so I'd use this as an alternative to, say, a bolognese. My children love this mixed through spaghetti with a little bit of cheese, it's delicious. The other thing that I do is I use it as a base in ramekins for a little veggie pie. So the lentils are the base, and then I would top them with a sweet potato mash and put them in the oven for about 20 minutes so that the mash and everything has a chance to get to know each other and they're bubbly and golden. The other thing that I do with it is I blend it with a little bit more stock, and then it's a delicious soup which they can have with, say, garlic bread or just even a bit of crusty baguette. So those are just 3 ideas from one recipe which shows you how useful it is to have this in your freezer. A lovely veggie-packed lentil sauce.